Parent preference. This is a very common behavior where your child might prefer one or the other parent for specific tasks or routines. Why does your child behave like this? Well, a simple reason could be that they are habituated to one parent's way of doing things. So when the other parent or caregiver steps in, there's a change. Change is inconvenient, and their lower brain can see that as a threat. Therefore, raise an alarm which manifests in the form of protesting, resisting, crying, and demanding the usual parent to take over. If, for example, they prefer you over everyone else, it also means they feel safe and comfortable with you more than anyone else. Well, you can take that as a compliment, but it can also become a burden at times. And I'm assuming that's why you're watching this video, to know what you can do about it. Let's ask Ben to decode this behavior better. The emotion: your toddler could be angry or sad when the other parent takes over. The hidden need is the need to feel connected and safe, the need for predictability and consistency. So, what do we want to teach and achieve now and later? Number one on my discipline goal list would be protecting my own bandwidth. Caring for a child all day, every day is exhausting. It wears you down, and over time, if you're not careful about self care, your mind and body will start reacting in undesirable ways, feeling frustrated and not wanting to do things for your child anymore. I want my child to learn that the world is full of great people and experiences that he can learn from and adapt to. So, how can I best manage this behavior and achieve my discipline goals? Well, this behavior can be managed easily if you have the basics in place with all the preventing tantrums tools. Tool number one: clear and consistent rules and routines. Plan ahead who's going to do what for your child and communicate that to your child well in advance. When we make it predictable and they know what to expect, there's less chances they'll melt down. Tool number two: use calm prep. It could sound like, after your snacks, daddy is going to give you a bath. It's going to be so much fun. Then let daddy move in physically and give as many details as possible to ease them into it. Infuse playfulness. If that's what your child seems to be needing to willingly cooperate with the other parent, do that. For older toddlers, say 4 to 5-year-old, you can let them take lead by having a visual chart that indicates who's going to be doing what on which days, and then whenever it seems appropriate, you can ask them, "Baby, can you look at the chart and tell me whose turn it is to give you a bath, mama or papa?" See how powerful they'll feel calling the shots, which means less resistance. If nothing works and a tantrum ensues, you will need to respond with a pause. Take a pause, reset, and find your calm first. Assess their need. Are they seeking connection by demanding for me because they haven't spent time with me today? Or are they hungry or sleepy? Or are they testing the limit to see if they can have their way this time? Promise yourself you'll uphold the limit and then connect with your child. Get close, make eye contact, and say with calm, "I see you want mama to give you a bath. You're feeling really sad that mama can't give you a bath. I understand. It's okay to feel sad." You allow and acknowledge their feelings, give them the space to express it, and then you can put the limit forward. "I'm right here in this bedroom. I need to finish some work. Once you're done with your bath with Papa, I will dress you up and we'll have so much fun together. Do you want to wear your pink or the red shirt when you come out?" Notice that we meet their need for connection or mama in the last step by telling them, "Yes, mama is going to spend time with you after your bath with daddy." We used a now then over there to help them get through the task at hand, that now they need to have a bath with daddy, then they can be with mama like they want it. We also offer choices and engage them in the process by giving them a little power in the situation. If hunger or sleep or any of the basics are missing, you will need to satisfy those needs promptly to help your child cooperate with you. Here's few things you should not do. Don't take it personally. If you're the favorite, deep down you might enjoy the feeling of being wanted or needed. But if you give in each time, it will feed the favoritism to the point that you won't like it anymore. Similarly, if you're the rejected one, don't take it personally either. Your child is a child who's just going by his feelings and his habits. Also, don't feed the notion mama does it best. Nor should you harbor it in your mind. Daddy needs opportunities to practice and get better over time. Your child will learn to accept daddy and the way he does things. Or it might be the other way around in your family. I'm not suggesting that mommies do it best, though that might be the case. Anyways, finally, here's few pro tips for you. How to prevent future problems. I strongly recommend that you proactively involve the other parent or caregivers wherever possible in some of the caregiving activities, like daddy can brush with the toddler, mommy can give a bath, whatever works for your family. You might not always like or approve of the way in which the other caregivers do certain things, but try not to overreact or overcorrect. One, because it will demotivate the other parent, which is not good. Plus, if you both argue or disagree over how to do or not to do something in front of your child, they will soon make conclusions of the power equation and will test that, or they will start undermining the other parent's authority. None of this is healthy for your family. If your styles differ, discuss that in person and find a middle path that's acceptable for both of you. While dividing the chores, don't take over all the good jobs or the bad jobs for yourself. Know that the purpose of this division of labor is to protect everyone's physical, mental, and emotional well being. So make sure you consider that while chalking out the chores for each parent or caregiver. Lastly, most importantly, appreciate the other parent's efforts and lend a helping hand when needed. If you see nobody is lending a helping hand to you, ask. Ask for help, my dear friend. There is no shame in that. We are not meant to do this parenting thing alone. Please don't try to be Superman or Wonder Woman. You are human. Remind yourself that every day.